Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, my amazing hacker friends. I thought I'd maybe read this article for you or with you, just to get some insight in how the corporate world might think about bug bounties, because I do think it's important to see both sides. Every security team knows how important patching vulnerabilities is. The problem is that it takes lots of time to do. In fact, research shows that it takes organizations an average of 60 days to patch critical risk vulnerabilities. And with 18,371 vulnerabilities discovered in 2021, there's too many for a single team to patch alone. Definitely agree with that. Nothing against that. However, bug bounty programs are providing an answer to this predicament by incentivizing a crowd of external security researchers to discover and remediate vulnerabilities in exchange for a fee. Now there is where a little bit of my problems arise. You see, however, bug bounty programs are providing an answer to this predicament by incentivizing a crowd. They're putting a lot of power into bug bounties. If your bug bounty program is set up incorrectly or poorly, then you can still let a lot of things slide through, because it's just not going to attract that top talent that you think you're going to attract. Today alone, enterprise insight platform Stravito, which provides organizations with a SaaS platform to store, discover, and integrate market/consumer insights, announced the launch of a new bug bounty program in partnership with Integrity. Hey, that's awesome. Congratulations, Stravito. The program provides an opportunity to build on its recent ISO 27001 certification and mitigate potential vulnerability management risks that put customer data at exposure. See, now that's what I like. That's how to do it well. Combine traditional vulnerability management risk assessment with bug bounty platforms. That is mwah. Bug bounties, the answer to vulnerability management complexity. More broadly, Integrity and Stravito's partnerships highlights that bug bounty platforms provide enterprises with powerful tools they can use to enhance the capabilities of in-house security teams and mitigate an ever-growing number of vulnerabilities at scale. I really like that. Of course, cooperation is super important in that respect, and your in-house security will know your security best because they know your functionality best, they know your architecture best, they just know you best, you as a company. So it only makes sense to combine their opinions with the opinions of bug bounty researchers. The announcement comes as more and more private and public organizations are experimenting with bug bounty platforms to discover and eliminate vulnerabilities in their technology stacks, including the Department of Defense, Google, Uber, Microsoft, and Apple. Stravito, which last year announced raising 14.6 million in Series A funding, is one of a growing number of smaller providers turning to cloud-sourced security to secure its systems against modern threat actors. Although it's important to note that a bug bounty program isn't designed to replace an on-site security team, but to augment their existing efforts. Yes, as you can see, it isn't really related to the points I got into in my video where I highlighted the problems with bug bounties, but that was never meant to be the whole idea behind it. That's also why I'm reading this article now, because I want you to get the whole point of the article, because I do still think it's a good one. Our bug bounty program ties in directly with our DevSecOps teams throughout our incident management processes and software development lifecycle, both for remediation of vulnerabilities, but also as a feedback loop to educate our DevSecOps engineers. Raising the bar and minimizing future bugs and vulnerabilities, said Tor Olof. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that last name, I'm just going to butcher it, founder and CEO of Stravito. At the same time, automation has a critical role to play in enabling an organization to integrate and action the findings of external researchers. Very, very true. Automation in many, many ways, I think. Also, I think a lot of security tests can be automated, vulnerability scans basically, but more adapted to the company's needs, really tailored to them. It can be, for example, if you're testing an API and you're writing API scripts in like Python or something, you can make that into automation. So there's many ways automation can help there, I think. Automation is also key both for detection of potential bugs and vulnerabilities, SAST and DUST, that is static analysis and your dynamic analysis, and to scale our capabilities to show compliance to clients, auditors, and regulators, compliance as code, both now and in the future. Philology. You see, I told you I'd butcher it. Not gonna, not gonna further attempt that. Reviewing the bug bounty market. The announcement comes as researchers anticipate the global bug bounty market will continue to grow, valued at $223 million in 2020 and anticipated to reach $5.5 billion by 2027. Ooh, those are numbers. That would be one nice critical vulnerability. 5.5 bill. Of course, that's not how it works, but within the market, Integrity stands as one of the leading European bug bounty providers, earlier this year raising over $21 million as part of a Series B funding round for its bug bounty and vulnerability disclosure program. From my experience with bug bounties, my friends, if you want a bug bounty platform, the one I always recommend is Integrity. It's competing against other prominent vendors in the market, including HackerOne, a bug bounty platform with automated bug testing, remediation guidance, and automated trigger actions that activate based on vulnerability severity. HackerOne raised $49 million earlier this year, bringing its total funding to almost $160 million. Another competitor in the space is Buckroad, a provider offering a combination of attack surface management, penetration testing, and automated workflow-driven bug bounties. Those are some really, really good combinations, and I do think that this is all for the better of bug bounties and will definitely help in preventing some issues. Now, the things that I've talked about are things that I largely didn't find in this article, like triage rating, for example, or a accountability clause on anything that's like a remediation case, hacker remediation that is, or even just forcing a time to respond as well. That would, of course, all of this would help the companies themselves, whereas the things that I'm looking at are more for the hackers themselves. I hope these two perspectives were able to bring some different mindsets for you guys, and I hope that from now onwards that you'll look at this industry with its problems, but also a beautiful industry where people can really, really have big impacts on the industry as a whole, on the world with security, with their knowledge. So it's not just about the money. That is really important as well. As a hacker, you're securing the world. It's not all about money, but it can sure help if you're able to feed a family through it. I'm just saying it would attract much more talented hackers as well. Thanks a lot for listening to my ramblings, my friends, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye, amazing hackers.